In this video, I'm going to teach you everything you need to know about killing weeds in your lawn and how to use a backpack sprayer. Let's get out of the weeds. So as we're starting to get closer to fall, it's getting ready to be go time in our lawns for renovations and making gains in our lawn. But for many of us, we have a lot of weeds we're dealing with. In my new lawn, I personally have a ton of weeds. And so before I start worrying about seeding and all of that, I want to start trying to take care of some of the weeds that are in my lawn. A lot of us with cool season grass, over the next month or so, we're going to be getting into kind of our window of opportunity to really kind of start seeding and pushing our lawn into the fall. But many of the weed killers that you're going to be using in your lawn are not going to be able to be sprayed whenever you're seeding. So a few weeks leading up to when you're going to start doing some work into your lawn is going to be when you're going to want to start attacking the weed. So for example, here I have my favorite broadleaf weed killer for cool season lawns here, Speed Zone. Now it recommends 2 weeks until you can reseed. So if I'm going to be reseeding next week, I don't want to be putting this down in my lawn right now. And so with many of the different weed killers, there's going to be a gap from when you can seed again. So you don't want to be like, hey, I'm going to be planting grass seed today. First I'm going to spray, kill some weeds, and then put my grass seed down. For most of them, it's not going to work. Now with that, there are going to be a few exceptions. One of the most well-known ones with cool season grass is going to be what's called tenacity. Tenacity is one of the few herbicides that actually plays nice with seed, and you can actually put it down while you're seeding. But for most of the stuff you're going to be getting at your normal big box stores, they are not going to play nice with seeding. Now I'm going to go over some of the methods for spraying weeds and kind of breaking them down to what I recommend. The first and most easiest method is to get a ready to spray formula like I have here. I've used this many times. These are really good to me when you don't have a major weed problem, but you have a few weeds here and there that you want to take out. Because this is super quick. You can go and you just look out, see some weeds, grab this real fast, and you just point and spray. And so these are really good when your weeds aren't that bad, but you just have a few little problem areas. So usually at the beginning of the season, I buy one of those, and then it pretty much lasts me all season long because I'm just going out periodically and spot spraying some weeds. But I would not recommend that as the most cost-effective method if you're going to be having a major weed problem where you're going to be pretty much having to blanket spray your lawn. The next type of way that we can spray and kill weeds is by hose end sprayer, like you see here. So the hose will attach to this end, your product and everything will be filled up in here, and you're pushing the handle and you're spraying. These are very effective and very good. The only thing I would say is I probably wouldn't recommend them for people that are just starting out, because it's kind of tricky to get used to how fast these are going out. This one here is actually adjustable to kind of control how much product's going out, but it takes a little bit of getting used to. The other thing you'll see with hose end sprayers is some of them come in ready to spray packaging that you'll see at the store, where you're just hooking the bottle up to your hose and spraying it. Now I have used those before, but those ones are even more tricky in my opinion, because a lot of times if you've never really sprayed weeds before, you hook that thing up and you have no idea how fast it's going to be spraying out. And you're easily just there just kind of spraying a spot in your lawn. Next thing you know, the bottle's pretty much empty and you only covered a small section of your lawn, and so you way over applied. Now the next one has been my old faithful, my 1 gallon hand can. This is the one that I've used most of the time, and this is just, you put the product in, fill it up, you got a gallon of product here, and then you got your pump handle and wand, and you're ready to spray. I have gotten a lot of use out of that in my yard, but the one thing I will say, whenever I was having to do a more blanket application, it wasn't a great option. The reason being is because for most of the stuff you're going to be putting down, 1 gallon is going to cover 1,000 square feet. Now at my old house, I had about 10,000 square feet. So if I was going to do a blanket application, I'm having to go and fill that thing up 10 times just to cover my entire lawn. So if you have a small lawn, something small, then that's going to be fine to be an option, because you can get those for under $20 or so. So that'll be a fine option for those of you. But if you have a little bit bigger lawn and you don't want to have to keep filling it up every 1,000 square feet, you're going having to fill this thing up, then you may want to look into a backpack sprayer. So right here I have myself a 4-gallon backpack sprayer that I got off Amazon. This is the first time I've ever used a backpack sprayer or had one. You can get these in battery, but this is a good old-fashioned pump. Now, the battery ones are typically going to be a lot more expensive than just the hand pump ones, but I think depending on how much you're going to be spraying product on your lawn is going to depend whether it's worth paying up. If you're just periodically going to be using this every once in a while, then I think you can probably survive with just the hand pump. If you're somebody who's going to be regularly using it and you have either maybe an even bigger area, then you might want to invest up into the battery powered ones so you're not having to continually keep pumping it. The one thing I will say about them is you do look really cool walking around with a stinking 4-gallon backpack sprayer on there. Now, I'm telling you one thing with this, you're probably going to get even better results with the backpack sprayer, because I mean, the weeds start seeing you coming wearing this thing, I bet you're going to get 50% of them just die just from looking at you. So, but what you're going to do now with this is now I got 4 gallons to work with. So essentially I'm getting 4,000 feet of coverage whenever I'm spraying an application. This is going to be perfect for whenever I'm doing something with blanket spraying, like I'm going to need to do in my lawn, because it's about 80% weeds right now. So I'm going to be able to fill this up a lot less. For example, here in my backyard now, it's about 4,000 square feet. So all I'm going to need to do is fill this up one time and I'm good to go. And it's easy for me to know, because once I'm out of product, that means I should have covered the whole thing. So as I'm walking around here, I can adjust my walking speed based on how full the tank is and how much I have left. And the cool thing whenever you have any kind of sprayer, so whichever one you decide is going to be best for you, the cool thing is that you can do a lot of different applications through it. It doesn't just have to be weed control. You can be putting down fungicides in there, trying to get rid of some of your disease. You can do fertilizers in there, all kinds of different soil supplements and things to help your lawn improve. And so you'll be able to get a lot of use out of it over the coming seasons. So I'm going to break down how this works. So here I have a liquid form of weed control, Speed Zone right here. Going to be good for your broadleaf weeds. So remember that. Broadleaf weeds are the weeds that typically don't look like normal grass, all funky shapes and sizes. This is not going to take out your grassy weeds. So your ones like your crabgrass and foxtail and some of those ones that look like grass and kind of can somewhat blend in with your grasses, this is not going to be what you want. So make sure you're getting something that you're actually targeting what you have in your lawn. Speed Zone goes down at a rate between 1.1 and 1.8 ounces for every gallon of water. So if we take a look here, I have my 4-gallon backpack sprayer here. So I'm going to use 1.8 ounces of this product for every gallon of water. So if I'm going to fill this up to the top and use a complete 4 gallons, I'm going to need 7.2 ounces of this product to go in here. I started with just putting a little bit of water in here. Typically, I don't want to put my product in first. Start with a little bit of water, then put in your product, and then finish filling it up the rest of the way. So now I need to get my 7.2 ounces of Speed Zone. You want to have something to measure it. Don't just guess. That's the one thing. Whenever you're putting any product on your lawn, make sure you follow the proper application rates, because you do not want to harm your grass or potentially any animals or kids or people that are on your lawn. So make sure you're paying attention to the application rates. So have something that can give you an accurate measurement. one thing I will say with first time using a backpack sprayer is, man, when you get that 4 gallons up on your back, it is some weight to it. So be prepared for that. Make sure the one you got, thankfully this one's got some pretty good backpack straps. Reading some of the reviews from some of the other ones, I saw some complaints on some of them. So make sure if you're getting a 4-gallon backpack sprayer, make sure you got some good straps on that thing, because if not, it is going to be a pain to lug around. A couple of the things to note whenever you're spraying is you don't have to walk slow and you don't have to linger. Whenever you're doing a blanket spray application, just keep it around knee height or so and just walk at a nice steady pace. If you see some weeds, you don't have to be like, all right, I got to get this weed, and you just stop there and sit there and spray it for 20 seconds. So you can just keep it moving, keep it going, and try to get a nice even application across your lawn. Last thing I'll say is just gauge how much is left after you walk through the area that you're supposed to. If you have 4,000 square feet that you're covering and you have 4 gallons and it's supposed to cover the whole thing, and you walk through it and you're only halfway done, well, you probably walked a little bit too fast. So you're going to have to adjust kind of your pace. So with that, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you next time when we get out of the weeds into a beautiful lawn.